April 12th at 6:57. At this point in time, I'd like to ask everybody to observe a moment of silence and prayer for all the victims and their families of crimes, in particular Johnny Cunningham. If you'll please stand and observe that moment. Thank you. At this time, I'll ask City Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Councilmember Knight.
Here.
Blackwell. Joyner.
Here.
Walker. Daughtridge.
Here.
Bullock. And Miller.
Okay. We have a quorum. So item number 4 is the approval of the minutes of the regular scheduled city council meeting, which was held March 22nd, 2021, and a special called committee of the whole held on March 29th, 2021. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Blackwell, second by Councilman Joyner. Is there any need for discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving the motion, approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Minutes are passed. So now we'll move on to community update with our city manager, Rochelle D. Small-Tony. Ms. Small-Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council. Good evening. In celebration of Fair Housing Month on Thursday, April the 22nd at 10 a.m., our Human Relations Department, in conjunction with the Fair Housing Project of Legal Aid of North Carolina, will host a virtual fair housing and landlord-tenant rights seminar. Discussion topics will include who must comply with fair housing, who is protected by the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, landlord-tenant rights, mobile homes, and the eviction processes in North Carolina. Advanced registration is required for this free seminar. To register, visit rockymountnc.gov. The City of Rocky Mount's Business and Collection Services Department is utilizing the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act to assist utility customers within the city limits who meet income requirements. The program is designed to assist with helping pay utility bills for low to moderate income households impacted by the loss of income due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Eligible households may receive up to $500 towards delinquent City of Rocky Mount utilities that became due after March 31st, 2020 and remain unpaid. For information on eligibility requirements, visit rockymountnc.gov or contact our Business Services Center at 972-1250. The City of Rocky Mount's Community and Business Development Department is currently accepting applications for the Small Business Assistance Grant Program. All interested and eligible small businesses with 25 or fewer employees based in the City of Rocky Mount are encouraged to apply for CARES Act Community Development Block Grant funding to assist in the preparation, prevention, and response to coronavirus. For more information or to download an application, visit rockymountnc.gov or call the Community Development Administrator at 252-972-1178. The city's Tar River Transit Service is offering free rides to COVID-19 vaccination sites for those with scheduled appointments to drive up sites. Transportation is available from 8 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Saturday to vaccination sites located in Nash and Edgecombe counties. Citizens who are interested in transportation to and from vaccination sites may call Tar River Transit at 252-972-1178 1174, 972-1514, 972-1515, 972-1516, or 972-1517. All appointments need to be scheduled the day before the trip. Healthcare facilities may also call and schedule transportation on behalf of their patients. Free rides will be available until at least June 30, 2021. Visit tarrivertransit.org regarding more information about general routes and services. Finally, I'm very excited to announce that our Communications, Marketing, and Public Relations Office has relaunched the video format of City Beat. The weekly discussions are designed to provide another platform for residents to receive the latest city news and information, and episodes will feature guests, including city staff, city leaders, and elected officials. Episodes will be streamlined to be more social media friendly. Episode locations will vary throughout the city. Broadcast platforms include a Spotify podcast, the city's Facebook page, as well as the City TV 19 YouTube page. Southern Link cable subscribers will also be able to view the episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Channel 19 at 4 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock p.m., and 11 o'clock p.m. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Does anybody have any comments or questions for our manager? Thank you. So at this point in time, I'd like to make a proclamation for Autism Awareness Month and ask Ms. Barbara Batts into the chamber. But I'll read the proclamation from here, and then we'll make the presentation in the front, where I believe she has a few words she'd like to say to us. So, proclamation of the City of Rocky Mount, whereas autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmentally disability that can affect significant social, communication, and behavioral challenges, and is the fastest growing developmental disorder. People with ASD may communicate, interact, behave, and learn in ways that are different from neurotypical people. The learning, thinking, and problem-solving abilities of people with ASD can range from gifted to severely challenged. Some people with ASD need a lot of help in their daily lives, and others need less. And whereas a diagnosis of ASD now includes several conditions that used to be diagnosed separately: autistic disorder, pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, PDT, NOS, and Asperger's syndrome. These conditions are now all called autism spectrum disorder, or ASD. Whereas more than 3.5 million Americans live with an autism spectrum disorder, people with ASD often have problems with social, emotional, and communication skills. They might repeat certain behaviors and might not want to change in their daily activities. Many people with ASD also have different ways of learning, paying attention, or reacting to things. Signs of ASD begin early in childhood and typically last throughout a person's life. And whereas early detection ASD intervention treatment services can improve development in children, services can include therapies to help the child talk, walk, interact with others, communicate, and control behaviors, including physical aggression and self-injury behavior. I now, therefore, C. Saunders Robertson, Mayor of the City of Rocky Mount, do hereby proclaim April 2021 as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month in the City of Rocky Mount, and urge our community to be aware, supportive, and accepting of those living with autism.
Thank you very much. I'm being directed. I can come right here.
Yes, ma'am, please.
I'm very appreciative. I'm Barbara Batts. Some of you all I have met in the field of education and working with our community. I want you to know that there are several organizations in our city who support autism, job seeking for children and adults with autism, and I am thrilled to be able to be presented this on behalf of our community. We are the Twin County Autism Family Support Group, started 3 years ago when I, the grandmother, said we have to do something about this. And my church said we will support it, Inglewood United Methodist Church. So we have a foundation, we have a community, two communities, and we can spread wherever we need to go, because there are families, children, adults, babies. Everyone is touched by this, as you have read. I just want to say that we are not a separate entity. There are other groups in this town who are working hard to recognize that children with special needs have to have special touches. And by you all acknowledging this through the city council, it makes it a firm foundation for our community to recognize that not everybody acts and learns the same, but we are inclusive in being in Rocky Mount. So we thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bass, for what you, your organization, and others do. And I'd like to come down and present it with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Okay, so this time we'll receive petitions from the public. This is an opportunity for the public to comment, and we thank you for coming to the Rocky Mountain City meeting tonight to share your views. We value all citizen input. Speaker comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes during the public comment period. At the conclusion of 3 minutes, each speaker will leave the podium. Comments will be directed to the full board, not to individual board members or staff members. And although the board is interested in your comments, speakers should not expect any comments, action, or deliberation from the board on any issue raised during the public comment period. In the board's discretion, it may refer to issues to appropriate city officials or staff for further investigation. If an organized group is present to speak on a common issue, please designate one person to present the group's comments, which shall be limited to 3 minutes. Okay, at this time I will ask Samuel Battle to the podium.
Good evening tonight. Oh, I just want to pay my respects to Mr. Johnny Cunningham. You know, you're going to miss him not coming here, speaking up, saying what he had to say on both sides. That's what I really like about him. You know, we might not agree on everything, but you're gonna miss that. There's a couple of people can do the things that he done. Pastor Lee was one, Mr. Turner, Mr. Walker. There's a couple of people was very outspoken. You're gonna miss that. But this killing in Rocky Mount, man, it's really out of hand. I go back and look at the list. Some of the people's name is not on the list. I go back, Billy Ray Childress, Sammy Children, 120504. One of my friends, Dexter Johnson, Xavier Johnson, in Ward 2. He got murdered in Ward 2, 11-1206, by the church. People still mourning that. Terry Henson in Ward 1, 8-1909. In Cloverdale, murder still unsolved. My cousin, Shaquem Avid, killed right on Raleigh Boulevard, 41311. Jermaine Flowers, killed in Edgecombe Meadows, 91211. Bruce Wayne Staten, that's another one, Herbie, played for us, for Coach Wright, quarterback. His dad named Bruce, named after his dad. The story still rings bell. Rocky Mount friends, mother said friends came to the house. She left. He was murdered, shot right there on the porch on Dorchester Street, Ward 2. Damian Rashawn Bullock, Ward 1. Antoine Henderson, 1712, Martin Luther King Park. Devon Green, 216, Ward 1. Dexter Johnson cousin, New, Long Avenue, Ward 3. And I ran across a name, I didn't even know this. I don't know this guy, but I'm reading research. Richard W. Joyner, 2012. We got all these unsolved murders. And we are continuing talking about housing. It looks like crime should be the number one thing we go at in this city.
Thank you. Would you leave those lists with the officer? Is that possible? All right. Okay, I'll ask Reverend Nehemiah Smith Jr. to the podium.
Good evening to Mayor, Manager, and to the council. Has anybody seen my old friend John? Can anybody tell me where he's gone? He was supposed to meet me here. It is the second Monday of the month and a little bit after 7. And I haven't seen him. Brother Rose, I have a nagging feeling that he will be permanently delayed. You remember my friend John. He talked to us about impoverished communities. He talked to us about affordable housing and about gainful employment. He used his God-given talents to rehab houses. Have you ever seen any of the work that my friend John has done? Oh, wow. Great work. You know, we haven't always been friends. You know, it's contentious at times, and he could be accusatory. But one of his redeeming qualities was the fact that he could say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Where shall we look for my friend John? Shall we look in Happy Hill? Shall we look in the neighborhood? Shall we look in Hillsdale? Where Little Raleigh? Where shall we look for him? Where shall we find him? Perhaps we will find him resting in the work. And I suggest that we not disturb him. I suggest that we just continue to do the work that he was doing, because it's a well-deserved rest. Has anybody seen my friend John? Can anybody tell me where he's gone? Brother Rose, I am convinced that he will be permanently delayed. But I pray that he have rest. And I pray that we will continue to do the work that he was doing. And I think that we will find a better Rocky Mount, and we will be better people because of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that brings us to item 8 on our agenda, which is consideration of the minutes and recommendations from a planning board meeting held on March 9th, 2021. So item A is public hearing relative to the following rezoning request recommended for approval and found in compliance with the comprehensive plan by the planning board. Request submitted by Jerry Pittman on approximately 1.614 acres located on Avalon Road from R6 MFA to R8. The recommended action tonight is for us to receive public comment, then to adopt the ordinance amending the land development code and map, subject to consideration upon receipt of comments. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this particular petition? No. Okay. Okay. All right. Having no one here to present comments, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance amending the Land Development Code and map. Motion made by Councilman Joyner, or
Second.
second by Councilman Daughtridge. Is there any for discussion on this matter? Hearing none, I'll ask all those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, written comments will be accepted up to 24 hours after the public hearing. Please submit written comments to pamela.casey@rockymountainc.gov. Thank you. That brings us to the second public hearing. Is relative to the following rezoning request recommended for approval and found in compliance with the comprehensive plan by the planning board. The request is submitted by Ted Hilborn of Kelly Development Company to rezone 6.03 acres located on East Raleigh Boulevard off Glory Drive from R10 to R6 MFA. The recommended action again today is to receive public comment and then to adopt ordinance amending the Land Development Code and map subject to reconsideration upon receipt of comments. Is there anybody here to speak on this item, on this matter?
Hi, my name is Ted Albrun. I'm here on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, please.
Just want to thank City Council for the consideration of the project. We're hoping to build a low-income housing tax credit 84-unit apartment project. We have an application into North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, and pending a successful rezone of the project, I hope to receive an award from the state in August and break ground early next year.
Any questions for the applicant? Councilman White? No. Okay. Anybody else here to speak on the project? Any recommendations from staff?
Just that we do recommend approval, forwarding that recommendation from the planning board. We're here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance amending the Land Development Code and map.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Daughtridge.
Second.
Second by Blackwell. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign. Okay, this matter has been changed, subject to reconsideration upon receipt of comments. Written comments will be accepted up to 24 hours after the public hearing. Please submit written comments to pamela.casey@rockymountainc.gov. Which brings us to item C. And in this particular matter, we have two folks who sit or have affiliation with the OIC and have requested a ruling, if you will, from our city attorney relative to whether they should recuse themselves. And so I'd like to turn the floor over to you, if you don't mind, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have some council members who are affiliated with OIC. So I'm going to go over the law in North Carolina with respect to council members voting on zoning matters. Now, by law, a council member is prohibited from voting on a zoning matter only if the outcome of the matter is reasonably likely to have a direct, substantial, and readily identifiable financial impact on the member. I have spoken with these members, and I do not believe that there will be a readily identifiable financial impact as a result of this rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. So we'll move on to our public hearing relative to the following rezoning requests recommended for approval and found in compliance with the by the planning board. The request is submitted by Calvin Balance with OIC of Rocky Mount, Inc. to rezone 4.0 acres located at 436 North Pearl Street from I-2 to B-2. Recommended action is to receive public comment, and also we're asking for the adoption of the ordinance amending the Land Development Code and map, subject, of course, to reconsideration upon receipt of comments. Anyone here to speak for the applicant?
Yes, I'm Daryl where I'm with OIC, and we're developing this project. We're going to move it forward as a multi-use facility, which have retail, some office, some rental space, and usage for industrial use for distribution and warehousing.
Okay, are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance amending the Land Development Code and map reconsideration upon receipt of. Motion made by Joyner, seconded by Walker. Is that right? Any need for discussion? Hearing none, if you'll approve, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. To note that written comments will be accepted up to 24 hours after the public hearing. Please submit written comments to pamela.casey@rockymountnc.gov. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Which brings us to item number 9 on our agenda, which is public hearing relative to the preliminary assessment roll prepared to recover costs incurred by the city in connection with the housing code enforcement on the following properties. A 332 North Howell Street, 101 Heron Street, 509 North Vine Street, 500 and 502 Clyde Street. The requested and recommended action is to adopt a resolution confirming these assessments. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Councilman Walker, seconded by Blackwell. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 10 is the consideration of recommendation of approval of award of a duty sidearm and badge to Lieutenant Beth Carlton for more than 27 years of dedicated service. The retirement date is April 1, 2021. Recommended action is to approve the award of the duty sidearm and badge. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Daughtry, seconded by Councilman Joyner. Is there any need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 11 is a consideration of the fiscal year 2021 installment finance contract with Bank of America Public Capital Corporation for equipment, $4.434 million fixed rate interest of 0.7617 for a 59-month term, and resolution approving the proposal. So that breakdown looks like 1.285 for transformers at Old Mill Road point of delivery system, 2.4 million wastewater treatment plant generation system, 167,000 for the Tar River Reservoir raw water aeration system, and 582,000 for the wastewater treatment plant switch gear and motor control. So recommended action is that we adopt the resolution that authorizes execution and delivery of installment financing agreement and such certificates and documents necessary, and authorizes the mayor, finance director, and city manager, or any one of them to execute necessary documentation on behalf of the city. Is motion made by Joyner. Is there a second? Second by Walker. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 12 is consideration of petition for annexation number 321 for 3583 South Halifax Road, which is non-contiguous. Recommended action is to acknowledge receipt of this petition and to adopt a resolution ordering city clerk to investigate sufficiency of petition. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Blackwell, second by Joyner. Need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 13 is consideration of resolution authorizing execution of requisition of funds form for the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. Recommended action is to adopt the resolution authorizing city manager, director of finance, county manager, and city clerk to execute signatory form certification on behalf of the city. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Walker, second by, is that Blackwell? Any discussion necessary? All in favor, please. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 14 is consideration of request by Wolf X-Ray Corporation to rename Blue Hawaiian Drive to Wolf Road. Street Name Review Committee recommends this approval. So the recommended action is to adopt the resolution to approve renaming of Blue Hawaiian Drive to Wolf Road.
So moved.
Motion made by Blackwell, second by Daughtridge. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir. Councilman, motion carries. Councilman Knight.
How is what is the process for the changing of streets? I know that the Blue Hawaiian Drive to Wolf Drive, this is recent, which I'm in support of. But over a year ago, Mr. Musa Shahedi had put in his family a request to name a portion of what is now Battle Street to Shahedi. And I don't know if it's being stalled or it's being ignored, but it's really getting on my nerves because I've asked about it several times. And City Mayor, I don't know if your staff will bring you up to date on things that's coming across their desk, but I'm quite sure it's not that difficult or hard to pass a renaming of a street. We just did it tonight. I asked several times for an update. Musa Shahedi has been very involved in the city. He's of the Arab community with the human relation. And I just want to know what the problem is. And if it is a problem, then they need to state the problem. Why the request, I don't know if his son hasn't completed the paperwork, but even that so, it should be explained, and I should be given a response to it. And it just burns me up sometimes when your staff don't follow back up with you with requests made by the council. And I hope in your meetings tomorrow that needs to change, it needs to stop. Thank you.
City Manager, would like to respond?
Yeah, I
No
think,
response, just handle it. Thank you.
all righty. I think maybe for the benefit, but we'll address it.
Thank you. Brings us to item 15 on our agenda, which is consideration of the following bids. 4, Business Services HVAC Replacement Award to Matthews Mechanical at a total cost of $162,800. This is an MWBE-owned business. And B, Recreational Equipment for Meadowbrook Park based on a bid awarded by Omnia Partners Group Purchasing Program, award to Comp Pan Inc. at a total cost of $90,239.30. This is a group purchasing exception. So the requested recommended action is to award the bids as recommended, to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute bid contract on behalf of the city, and authorize the purchasing division to issue purchase order and execute bid document for B in accordance with the council's award. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion made by Knight, seconded by Joyner. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
When the last part that we redid was done, I remember that equipment was chosen to be accessible to all handicapped and various sorts of things. So I'm wondering if this equipment is as well.
Well, I'm sorry.
Is it handicap equipment, handicap accessible?
Is the equipment okay? I think Joel Dunn is out there. He can.
Motion
Share
carries,
that.
but let's get an answer.
Let's
for
get
you,
an answer
Councilperson Miller.
In reference to your question about ADA accessibility, the tile surfacing, which you're familiar with at Hornbeam Park, will be used at this park as well. The specific equipment about what's ADA accessible and what's not, I'll have to get you further information. But as far as the accessibility to get to it, it'll be the same as the rest of our parks have had.
Thank you.
There is reference in the material of some ADA accessibility.
Very good.
That's kind of the standard we're going with all our future park installs.
Okay. Thank you. Which brings us to item 16, appointments. I have one notice of appointment from our city manager, appointing both TJ Walker and HD Pope to the Carolinas Gateway Partnership Board per the request of Board Chairman Vince Andracchia. Are there any other appointments that we need to consider or be notified of as it relates to the items listed?
May I volunteer? May I volunteer for a position on the Tar River Transit Governing Board?
Okay. It's fine with me. I'm not sure that's my decision, but I'm all in. All right, all right, got a second? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign.
Clarification.
This is for the transit board. There's item in, Tar River Transit Governing Board, a council member. And I think we just filled it with council member Blackwell. That's correct. Well, I don't know that was approval there, but yeah, everybody's been notified.
I was only going to say that other coastal plain, Bradley has asked for someone to serve on that as well.
Upper Coastal Plain Brownfields Coalition Steering Committee, the council member.
Since my predecessor, I think, served on that, if it's the pleasure of this council, I'll volunteer.
Great.
Councilman Daughtry would like to be on the Upper Coastal Plain Brownfields Coalition Steering Committee. I've got a motion. I need a second. Second, Mr. Joyner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, it's been very productive. 2 volunteers today.
Do we have an opportunity to unvolunteer at some point?
I don't think it works that way, but anyway, are there any other nominations or filling of vacancies here on this list? Hearing none, is there any other business to come before this council?
Let me thank everyone.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, council, for participating in our retreat. And thank you, city manager, and thank staff and those that traveled, those that were virtual. Thank you so much. And we look forward to our action plans that we came out of. So, and thank you for your gifts, city council, that you have. Thank Ms. Dorothy Smith for making sure that we have these. So I hope you enjoy them.
Well, if I could just tag along to that, take a little executive privilege and say thank you for planning a great retreat along with city manager and her team. I thought that it went as seamlessly as such things typically go. So with that, I'll ask if there's any other business to be presented before this council. Hearing none, meeting adjourned.